Ever since my first video on this channel where I converted a Techpriestess, I've been wanting to make another. This time though, one that was more aesthetically similar to other tech priests, hunched and gaunt, body a husk. But finding a female model to base it on proved difficult, because there aren't that many female miniatures in Games Workshop's catalog to begin with, and those that do exist all skew towards the attractive or sexualized. There is one though that's nicely hag-like, Fecula Flyblown from the Nurgle Wormspat warband. I started by snipping away her arm pin and carving off some of her Nurgle flavor. For her right arm, I chose the Techpriest Dominus cane arm, though I had to slice off the secondary arm because it wouldn't fit. I love the cane arm because it adds an edge of refinement to basically every miniature it's attached to. For the left arm, I chose the matching Tech Axe, though I had to snip off the end because of her reduced height compared to the Dominus model. For both arms, I used globs of green stuff to attach them. With them in place, I started dry fitting on different Mechanicus heads. While they all matched her well, the exposed bone structure of this one I thought really sold the crone aesthetic I was aiming for. With arms and head in place, my Techpriestess was looking good, but she wasn't looking great. Her energy was a little too grandmotherly, not hag or crone-like enough, silhouette not bizarre enough for a true follower of the machine god. To shake things up, I decided to layer on this front portion from a Techpriest Mechanicus. I've always liked it, but never had a build it would work for. In this case, I thought it would add a nice hunched forward silhouette and some of the insectile plates that are so key to the Admech aesthetic. To get it to fit, I started carving away at her shoulders and sides to narrow them. I also snipped off the belly plate portion of the Manipulus front, careful to minimize the damage so I could use the plate later for another project. With the belly gone, the Manipulus front fit really cleanly over the hag base, but I decided to affix it a little more forward to enhance her hunched over silhouette. I also cut off the armor portion of the back of the Manipulus so I could layer it over the back of my Techpriestess. With the new Manipulus front, the head I had been using no longer really worked. What's ironic is that it's one of the heads from the original Manipulus kit, but the way I had affixed the Manipulus front was tilted more downward than the original, so it kinda just looked like she was whispering to the ground now. I tried a few different head options. I actually liked almost all of them, especially this strange peering one, but ended up settling on the Servitor head from the Dominus kit because of just how creepy it looks. I fit it in so it looks like it's peering out from a shell of armor. I added the Techpriest cane and axe arms back to my Techpriestess and dry fitted on an Engine Seer's reactor. While I liked how broad and messy it was, I eventually decided against including a backpack of any type because I felt like it took away and confused her hunched silhouette. I also tried dry fitting on third arms beyond the Techpriest limbs. They looked cool, but overall in terms of shape, it felt like the model would be better served to add a pair of vestigial arms held close to the body beneath the Manipulus ones, so her energy would be turned inward, not outward. To make space for the vestigial arms, I clipped off my Techpriestess's gut and layered green stuff over the resulting hole to mimic robes. This is the vestigial limb from the Dark Elder Talos paint engine. All of the vestigial limbs from that kit are wonderfully creepy, and this one in particular. Unfortunately, while I eventually got it to fit by performing a boob job, the vestigial limb was a little too large, and also basically impossible to see under the Manipulus arms. I don't actually like the pose of those arms or how strong and meaty they are, so I decided to replace their forearms and open up my Techpriestess a little. I snipped off the forearms and dug into the sleeves so that new limbs could be fitted in. I experimented with a few different ones, but settled on the cord claw from the Reststalker kit and one of the pincer arms from the Cataphron one. The cord claw is always good for making a model scheming and sinister, while the pincer arm's extra joint helps mechanize the whole limb and give it a transhuman edge. Together, they give her a bit of a praying mantis look. With her front more visible, I went in and carved out more of the original model's body. I thought about adding back in the vestigial limbs tucked up against it, now that there was space for them, but it felt a little excessive for a model of this size, so I simply green stuffed her front. And with that, my Techpriestess was ready to serve the Omnissiah. I'm really pleased with how she turned out, and I think she's a much more in-character Techpriestess than my first one. The Manipulus armor really gives her an insectile, almost roach-like silhouette, and replacing her praying hands enhances it even more. I think she still reads as female as well, despite being almost entirely draped in ragged robes, her face a pitted skull, and her flesh replaced with servo and steel, which was one of my main objectives with her. All genders deserve to be unsettling and insectile in service to the machine god. If you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe, or check out some of my other Adeptus Mechanicus builds. I also have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching.